Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Oh, I overdid it today. Wow. Dr. Shealy, I overdid it. Jeez.
Oh dear, he's stoned again.
Oh, wow. I don't know how this happens, but sometimes an extra large drop of air bliss comes out, and I put it between the web of my forefinger and my thumb, and I transfer it to the other. I put it on my left hand and transfer it to my right hand, and instantly, I feel blissed instantly. I could hurt myself with this grin I have. Oh boy, Dr. Shealy, I was chatting with a young lady yesterday, and she called us from California, and her name is Laura. She's from California. She came to the Get Prepared Expo. She drove out with her two daughters, drove all the way from California, a couple thousand miles, actually 4,000-mile round trip. Spent the Friday, Saturday, Sunday with us at the Get Prepared Expo in March in Lebanon. And then she came to the meetup, and so she knows a lot of who's with us at USAPrepares.com. And I invited Laura to give us a call and let us know what's happening in her world out there just outside of Los Angeles, California. She's with us right this very second. Laura, welcome. Laura,
hello, Lana.
Are you there?
I'm here, and I'm thinking, boy, I've got to get some of that bliss.
Well, you and I were on the phone yesterday. I mentioned that this absolutely works.
Yes, I actually I know that it works. One of my treats was going to be buying some bliss when I went to the expo, and I ended up giving it away to somebody who I thought was in need of it, who was going through a tough time. And I was telling Vincent yesterday that I could tell in her voice, just talking to her on the phone, that it was working. Her voice actually was at a higher octave. So I didn't say anything to her because I wanted her to tell me, hey, this stuff, and it took about 10 days before she realized that she really did feel better. So, yeah, I'm going to have to get some more of that. So, good job there.
Laura, I'm so glad you called, and I wanted you to share with Dr. Shealy and our class what we were talking about yesterday. What class we're talking about, is it going to happen quickly? Is it going to happen over time? And a lot of us have different thoughts, and maybe it's both. And Laura shared a story with me that I really wanted her to share with Dr. Shealy as well, because this impacts everything in a person's life. So, Laura, you mentioned that you were kind of surprised at the number of people who ended up at your house, and it just happened. It wasn't like it was planned. It just happened, and it takes it impacts the finances. It impacts the number of seats around the table. Tell us what happened, please.
Well, I was telling Vincent that it seems like we may prepare for some kind of event, and all of a sudden you're going to be like, okay, the light switch is on, and let me go into my action now. This is what I knew was coming, but I think it may happen differently for for all of us. And over the last year and a half, I've ended up having 3 additional people in my home for different reasons. And it sneaks up on you because you don't really realize that you're in it sometimes, I think. And I was sharing with Vincent that I have I do have 4 kids, 2 of which live at home, and they're older. But, as a mom, we like to do things for our children. And, they may or may not be, have their schedule completely full. And I was telling Vincent that I think that one of the things that we can do is just try to have everybody doing as much as possible, because moms are busy all the time anyhow. But with the extra 3 people of doing more things for more people, cooking more meals, we take all of our meals at home. We don't eat out. I like to know what my family's eating. But, it piles up on you, and all of a sudden you're realizing, I'm really burnt out. So, I guess that was the point I was just trying to make, is we may not be doing our children favors when we think we are by helping to offset their load and catering to them a little bit more than need be.
Dr. Shealy, so I believe what Laura is saying is a child may be exhibiting, maybe they're tired. And mom could say, I'll tell you what, I know you're tired. Let me help you with that. Actually, let me do that for you, whatever it may be. And then, mom is doing so much of what others could do in the family, let's say the children, to lighten their load. And I believe she's saying that we're probably doing a disservice to the children by doing things for them. For example, let's say someone's hungry, and we could say, tell you what, why don't you cook something for yourself? As a matter of fact, here are the choices that I suggest you consider. And when you're done, you can clean that up for yourself. And, if you want to tune up that car, instead of an adult doing it for you, how about you learn how to do it? Go to YouTube or get a book out of the library or research it on the internet and learn how to change those spark plugs or your tire or your oil for yourself. Tell you what, I'll be glad to provide some encouragement and, I'll help. But how about if you do it? Is that what you're talking about, Laura?
Yes, I am. And it's, I think that once you're in the situation that we are, I feel like all of a sudden it's too overwhelming, or can be. And, my kids will do whatever I ask them to do, but I wish I would have gotten them more, automatic, so to speak, where they see something and they, you're going downstairs and you see something by the stairs, take it with you, don't pass it, those types of things. Carry
Dr.
a little bit more load.
Yeah, Dr. Shealy, what are your thoughts about that and how to make that happen? Because I know you've raised some children.
Well, interestingly, Vince, I didn't realize how odd society is until the mid-'70s, when I read a book called Women's Reality. And Anne Schaaf said that the original sin, if you're a woman, is being born a woman. And I suddenly realized just how ridiculous society has been for at least 5,000 years. I don't understand how people could, that's the extreme of it, but that's society. That's what the church has done. That's what many religions have done, and some of them more than others. And we wouldn't be here without women. That's right. The way I look at it. How could you put down your mother, your wife, your sister, your daughter? It doesn't make sense. And so that's the broader picture, is just looking at women as not only equal, but in many respects, they're why we're here.
Well, I think it's easy to take for granted the women in our lives, the amount of things that they do. I stop every once in a while and I look at the things that Mrs. Finelli does, and I'm just shocked at how much she's able to accomplish, how efficiently. And she doesn't come up with a list that says, okay, here's what I did today. Show me what you did today. It doesn't happen. But I'll tell you what, I have a feeling that my list would be way short compared to hers. I mean, and so, Dr. Shealy, how do we encourage the young in our lives, you know, the children, to see these things, to, as Laura was saying, if it's on the stairs and it's at the top of the stairs and it needs to go down the stairs, let's say it's a laundry basket, how do we show them and say, I think you missed something on the way down the stairs?
Yeah, well, I agree. I think we need to talk openly about it and do things to show, at the very least, equality. Mm-hmm. It's not a question of one being better than the other. I mean, we do need both to exist.
Mm-hmm. I think for me, my concern is that I think people's lives change pretty quickly, and I can't imagine. And I was telling Vincent that, you know, I was standing in the store when the EBT cards were shut off in California. And I can't imagine getting to the point where you're really, you know, this is the moment everybody needs to step up, and having to learn and teach everybody how to carry more load at that time. Because, you know, this is part of the preparation is my point. It's already too late if you're trying to relearn how your household runs after there's a situation. We need to be prepared and, you know, have everybody carry the load equally. I'm not complaining. What I'm saying is that I've noticed that's a weakness that people may not be considering when they're, you know, preparing for various items in their life.
Laura, would you share that story in a little more detail about when the, we'll call them the food stamp cards were shut off? Where were you? What happened?
I was in the store with my grocery cart, and I was going up to pay, and there was this very long line, and I didn't realize that this long line that was encompassing the store was completely filled with people that they were asking me, how are you going to pay? How are you going to pay? And I said, I'm paying with cash. And they're like, oh, you can go ahead. And what happened was every single person in the store that day, I was the only one paying with cash. All of them had EBT cards. And there was nobody using real money. The entire store was filled with people that were counting on those food stamps. And it scared the heck out of me. I said, what is going to happen if these things get turned off permanently or for any amount of time? It was a very unsettling feeling.
Raise crickets for food. Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit guns80.com, guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Did you know that drinking pure, high-alkaline water is one of the most important factors in maintaining high energy and vibrant health? Most experts agree that the water you drink should be at a pH level of 8 or higher. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops, available only at alkavision.com, combine a unique formula of only the most alkaline minerals. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops alkalize your water, ridding the body of harmful toxins, and helps you regain health and energy. Alkalizing your water by simply adding 10 drops of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops helps the body rid itself of acidic waste, increases oxygen content, and raises the pH of your body to healthy levels. And bacteria and viruses cannot survive in an alkaline high pH environment. Order your bottle of AlkaVision Plasma pH drops for only $29.95 at alkavision.com. That's ALKAvision.com. Or call 269-409-1776. 269-409-1776. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com today.
If you're worried about your health and you're tired of the nasty side effects of harsh drugs or antibiotics, then look no further. Supernatural Silver is the answer. Supernatural Silver is a powerful immune system enhancer that can be used every day to help keep you healthy and well with none of those nasty side effects. It's extremely safe for use internally as well as topically. And Supernatural Silver is hundreds of times more effective than colloidal or ionic silver. It is perfect for use in the sinuses, eyes, ears, and on any wound or skin issue. Supernatural Silver is also extremely effective when taken orally and can help fight off bacteria, viruses, and mold that may be overwhelming your immune system. Go to supernaturalsilver.com, supernaturalsilver.com, and use the promo code SILVER2015 for 30% off of your entire order. And give yourself and your loved ones a fighting chance with Supernatural Silver.
Healthy, organic, fresh fish, robust, mouth-watering vegetables, all from your home. It's called aquaponics. This brilliant, self-sustaining protein and veggie system is perfect for year-round growing. Know exactly where your food is coming from. Aquaponicssource.com is the one-stop shop for all your needs. Fish, fish food, plumbing, full systems, classes, and more. Learn to build your own system. Go to aquaponicssource.com for a free guide to aquaponics. That's aquaponicssource.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Class, Dr. Norman Shealy is with us, normshealy.com, and you get the same newsletter that I get absolutely free multiple times per week. Just go to Norm Shealy, normshealy.com, and you can sign up for that newsletter, or if you want to get Bliss, you can do that right at the website, or you can go to the health links and learn about what you need to do to stay healthy. Laura's with us from California, and she was telling us about these EBT cards and how she was in a store and the EBT cards didn't work. Laura, what kind of food did you see in those cards, if you happen to notice, of those who are getting food at our expense?
You know, I really, honestly, I wasn't paying attention to that because I was in so much shock. I have no idea how many people, I mean, there was probably 50 people with carts because the line had backed up, and I was the only person in the store who had cash. And it really scared me. It was definitely a life-changing event because, excuse me, this was, it was people that were, just normal families. Mm-hmm. And I just had no idea that there was just so many that are dependent on that. How are they going to go 9 meals, 12 meals? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but those things get cut off. It was very, very eye-opening. Very eye-opening.
Mm-hmm. So I believe what you're saying is that they're buying food on assistance. They are not paying for it. We are. The system shut down. And do you see a point in time when the line might have gotten unruly? Were you there for a while?
No, I don't think so, because it wasn't. It hadn't been that long. It was maybe, it hadn't been that long. And I know that some people were leaving the stores, but imagine 1, 2, 3 days of that. I definitely would want to be in my home, and I wouldn't want to go out. I'd stay there until things got better or something. Mm-hmm. So,
Can you share with us what's happening in the water situation in California? You're right there. I think Dr. Shealy would be interested in learning about this as well.
Well, a month or two ago, I got a notice that was asking basically for a 50% reduction in water usage. Last week, I got a letter that said that the board had rescinded that, my particular water board, which is not San Diego City. We are actually out on the outskirts, and they said that the board had decided that a 30% reduction would be enough. A lot of people have let their grass go, and if you see yard with grass in it and it's green, you'll be lawn shamed. I'm not in a neighborhood, so that doesn't impact me, but I do drive through neighborhoods and I see a lot of dead grass, and people that can afford have changed their landscaping completely already. I mean, it started, I'd say within the last 12 months, I've noticed a lot of landscape changes. What happened with us was because we have so many people in my home, we have one income right now with 7 people, and our electric bill, well, our water bill's close to $1,000, but our electric bill is about $700-800. If you have one income for that many people, you can get a reduction through the state. And we don't take any other services other than that. You just call them and you tell them that we have one income. Well, that went on for about a year, and then when it went to get renewed, they started asking us more questions about, is there anybody in your house, over 18 and all these things. Well, since January, they were giving us a hard time for that reduction. We were paying the full amount. And they told us because we use more than the minimum requirement for electricity. We have so many people here. And I have 3 students at homeschool as well. They were going to send a company out if we were going to remain in it to inspect our home to help save with electricity. Oh, I hear the music. I'll wait till we come back.
Yeah. Dr. Norman Shealy is with us. Laura's with us. And the reason that we're discussing this is what may happen to your family, people moving in. And I'd love to hear Dr. Shealy's thoughts on how does that work? How does the family work? And what are the best ways to have everybody get along when the number of people doubles?
We love that you're passionate about GCN. And whether you're a listener, a business owner, or a radio industry professional, we've redesigned the new GCN newsletter to keep you in the know. Get updates on your favorite GCN shows and hosts. Go to GCNlive.com and click on the banner in the upper left corner. Just for signing up, you're automatically entered for monthly giveaways. Start receiving your newsletter today. The future of talk radio. GCN.
Affordable health insurance was the promise of Obamacare, but for many, the government mandate caused more problems than it solved. And I want to tell you about a truly affordable alternative, Liberty HealthShare. Liberty HealthShare bypasses doctor and hospital panels, giving you the freedom to choose 100% coverage up to $1 million per year per occurrence, who includes dental, vision, pharmacy, and holistic care. Call 1-800-714-6993. 1-800-714-6993. 1-800-714-6993 today.
Thousands of people seeking home security get ripped off every day, and the home security industry wants you to believe that's your only option. They've got hordes of salesmen out there trying to scare you into signing one of their long-term contracts. You get stuck writing huge checks month after month with no way out. It's robbery by contract, and it can cost you thousands. But there's a better way to protect your home. Simply Safe Home Security. Simply Safe has no contracts, None. You'll get award-winning 24/7 protection, security professionals watching over your home, ready to instantly send police to the rescue for just $14.99 per month. That's less than half what most companies charge. Protect your home the smart way. Visit simplysafedefense.com today for an exclusive 10% offer and get a free keychain remote worth $25. Only when you go to simplysafedefense.com. simplysafedefense.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Why do over 50% of North Americans suffer from some form of chronic ailment? Could it be due to a toxic overload? It's time to take back your life. Get the lead out as well as the cadmium, mercury, and calcium. Extendovite is a garlic cayenne supplement with 5 other herbs that acts like a natural Drano, cleaning out the stored toxins, restoring your energy and youthfulness that we've lost. If you would like to live your life free of sickness, pain, or fear, then Extendovite is for you. Available in either capsules or liquid, you too can see why Extendovite is the #1 heart drop available. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Hi, this is Steve Spillum for Midas Resources. In 1971, President Nixon took the United States off the gold standard and put us into a fiat currency. This allowed Congress and the Federal Reserve to create trillions of dollars out of thin air. The national debt has risen to incredible heights, and your hard-earned dollars by a small fraction of what they once did. The average life expectancy for a fiat currency is 27 years. The dollar is failing and on borrowed time. When currencies fall, people turn to gold and silver because gold and silver have been real money for more than 5,000 years. It is our mission at Midas Resources to help you preserve your capital. Don't let your personal savings shrink to nothing. For important free information on how you can protect your personal wealth, contact me, Steve Spillum, at 1-800-686-2237, extension 308. Call today while we are still accepting dollars for gold and silver. 1-800-686-2237, extension 308. Make a change in your financial security today. That's 1-800-686-2237, extension 308.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
So, Dr. Shealy, Laura's been explaining that people have shown up in her house, and the number of people has just increased. I'm thinking, if that happened here at the Finelli farm, I would certainly welcome the guests, but at some point pretty soon in the discussion, I would say that, the democracy that you thought you had, that ended when you came to the farm.
That's right. Okay, I have to tell you, I love your instructors, and they're all so different. And one of them that I really enjoyed was Silent Night. He was amazing, and he said, "Oh, if you're going to be in my house, you're going to eat my food. You're going to be working." And he said, lovely man, and I suggest that everybody go to the expo, and I suggest that everybody go see Silent Night. We're blessed enough to have him again. And one of the things that he had was he has a secret weapon that he teaches you about, and I'd prefer not to say it because you have to get it all in perspective, but he had a secret weapon for for kids and how to protect them. And one of his lectures was not to let anybody in your home. So I had no intention of letting this utility company come in, but they wanted to monitor. Even this is now, bear in mind, I'm talking to the electric company about ways to keep my electricity down. And one of the things that they were going to help me with was they were going to put a special shower head in my bathroom to monitor how much water I use per shower. So, we heard about, I think 6 months ago, was it John Regan who was talking about the hotels monitoring, shower usage. And this is what they're doing in homes, and they're getting in this way now. So, I said, well, my concern is not the water on this phone call. My concern was, trying to see what, actually I was complying to their rule of me talking to this company. So, they're going to come in and they're going to put, I'm assuming, I'm not really sure how it works. I'm assuming it ties into the smart meter somehow, which we don't have that. But, they will put a regulator to regulate how long your showers are now.
Mm-hmm. Laura, what we're talking about is monitoring, almost every facet of our lives. And when you talked about having a $1,000 water bill, I'm sure that some people are thinking, are you operating a car wash there? What is it?
Doesn't it sound crazy?
Well, I have a friend who invited me and Mrs. Finelli into his house, and he was showing us around, and he actually does have a car wash. I mean, it's their bathroom, but it's to me, if the door was big enough, it would be a car wash. And they've got a couple water heaters in series, so they can power this, car wash with warm water. But to me, that's pretty extravagant. But what are you doing?
I have an acre and a half, and I have, if I had to guess, I have over 100 palm trees, and I have probably 10,000 square feet of gardening, and,
That's a quarter of an acre. 10,000 square feet of gardening.
No.
Is a quarter.
Oh, yes, of gardening, yes. And then we have a swimming pool. And, one thing I like to do is, there's a lot of people here. I've always enjoyed having my hot shower. That's, I get my 15 minutes alone, and it's therapeutic to me. I do my best thinking in the shower. So
I do too.
I'm not going to allow somebody to tell me how long my shower can be. That's none of the darn business. But anyhow, I'm not saying that we don't use a lot of water. I do use a lot, but the bills. We just went to incremental billing, the tiered system, I'd say 24 months ago. So that's what's getting us, is because all my gallons are in the penalty box.
Okay. And how about, I'd like to hear from Dr. Shealy. How do we all get along? What are your thoughts if this happens? And the reason that Laura wanted to come on was share with us that we thought that, a lot of us thought that, this would happen all at once, that the grid would go down, there'd be a calamity, a catastrophe, a nuclear meltdown, an attack, a massive strike, and all of a sudden this would hit us, instantly. And what she's saying is not necessarily. It could be incremental with the first arrival, the first guest.
You don't want to be tired before it happens. You've got to, we've done things in our life. There's more board games going on here, but you don't want to be tired when it happens. So here we're getting hit with more people, and that's fine. But Dr. Shealy,
what are your thoughts?
Well, I don't think anybody knows whether or when what will happen. I mean, let's face it. The last 10, 12 years especially, the number of unbelievable possibilities has multiplied. And so every country in the world is bankrupt, as far as I can tell. And nuclear stuff, we don't have to worry about a bomb as much as we do Fukushima. I mean, there's so many things going on. And we just all have to do the best we can and be prepared as well as we can where we are. Before the last election, I seriously thought about leaving the country because I wasn't sure I wanted to put up with another 4 years of Obama. But as I looked around the world, I couldn't find another country that I thought was better.
Here we are. We're going to do the best we can do. And that expo was really amazing. What are you going to do? Are you guys going to have another one of those?
Well, Laura, I've got to find another location because we are not welcome in Lebanon, Missouri. And we're not welcome in Springfield, Missouri. And, you know, our message doesn't sit well with everyone. I didn't
That's an understatement.
Dr. Shealy, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but you broadcast on KWTO in Springfield, and before I did, many decades before I got there. And I was broadcasting for 2 years from there, and this was during one of the times I was broadcasting, and I walked into the lobby, and the lobby has this glass wall, if you will, almost, that really tall, that faces this 5-lane road just outside, and cars are whizzing by, and this is in the city of Springfield, Missouri. And there was a guy who had been there a long time, and he came up to me, "Hey, Vinny, how's it going?" And we're in the lobby, you know, right inside this glass wall. And he was real close to me, and he gave me like a hug, and, "Hey, it's great to see you." And then he jumped back. He literally jumped back, and he said, I can't stand this close to you. They might miss you and hit me. He literally said they might miss you and hit me. And he jumped back, literally. And he was absolutely serious. So what I'm saying is not everybody appreciates our message. And this was, you know, a radio station that I've been on for a couple of years, talking about the same kinds of things we talk about here. And then I was at a meetup, and Deborah Brewster, one of our instructors, she's the CEO of a few companies, and she said, I couldn't believe it. She got up to the microphone. This was just a few weeks ago. And she said, you know, Vincent used to scare me, and he'd talk about these things, and I thought he was kind of nuts, but, you know, a couple of years ago, but, you know, there were a few nuggets of preparedness that we talk about at these meetups, and I'd stay just for that. But, you know, he was right. You know, the stuff he's talking about and the stuff the rest of you guys are talking about, you were right. And it took a while for her to figure this out. And so what I'm saying by that, I'm not trying to say we were right. What I'm trying to say is there are people who, even people who liked us, thought we were nuts and don't understand, and don't understand, our message. And maybe it's a little frightening. To me, it's a little normal. As a matter of fact, let me share something with you, Dr. Shealy and Laura. I was at the meetup on Monday. I mean, just a couple days ago, and one of our regular members of our meetup group came up to me after the meetup was over, and he said, "I feel sorry for you." He's talking to me, and I said, "What?" He said, "I really feel sorry for you." I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, he's probably listening right now, and he said, "Well, you know, you're worried about all these things." And I said, I'm really not worried about things. I'm paying attention to what's happening. He said, you know, all my friends live in these big houses, and they've got copper roofs, and, you know, everything's well, and the economy's well, and things are, you know, like where's your perspective? You know, why do you think things aren't so good? Because, you know, all my friends are just living it up and having a good time, and everything's fine, and they've got plenty of money. And I said, no, that's not the way it is. I said, businesses are going under. The economy is in a spiral down. And, you know, if that's what you see, that's an anomaly. That's not the way it is. And, so he really literally feels sorry for me because, I don't get it. I mean, I think his perspective is I don't get it. Well, that would mean that Dr. Shealy doesn't get it, and Laura doesn't get it, and just about everyone else who's listening to this broadcast doesn't get it as well. Now, I like this man. He's a nice guy. He really is. But his world is a little different. But I wanted to share that with you, that not everybody thinks the way we do.
Can I tell you before I leave you that we were getting hit real hard for a very long time with the spraying, the chemtrails. And the last 3 weeks, I think, there's been almost none. And I wonder if it has something to do with, they're having a meeting in Northern California, I think the second week in August. And I'm wondering if it has something to do with that. John B. Wells will be up there speaking. He's the MC.
Okay.
Just a thought.
Can you tell us a little bit more, or is that all you have?
Oh, I heard the music.
Okay.
There's going to be, do you want me to wait till after?
Sure. We'll be right back with Dr. Norm Shealy and Laura from California. Bob in Michigan, please hold the line. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
We are a survival company. We manufacture our own line of Level 3 and Level 3A body armor. We proudly make our armor 100% in America. We have the best prices in the nation, about $125 cheaper than our nearest competitor. All lab certified, for thou art my rock and my fortress. Psalm 31:3. We are Fortress Survival LLC.com.
Making the right decisions is a challenge to investors. Are we going to see economic growth, slide into a recession, or at worst, depression? Hi, Ted Anderson from Midas Resources. We all know when a company acts irresponsibly, divesting ourselves in a move towards safety is prudent. When the market becomes volatile, U.S. Treasuries are a safe haven. But what do you do when the U.S. government overextends itself and spends beyond its means? Many investors are turning toward gold as a common-sense alternative to traditional paper investments. Midas Resources has put together a powerful book titled 10 Reasons to Own Gold, discussing costs, benefits, risks, featuring full-color illustrations, weights, and measures. The book is free and can be yours by calling 800-686-2237. Paper investments are dwarfed by gold's 6,000-year history. Discover how gold may be right for you and your IRA by calling 800-686-2237. Whether buying or it's time for you to sell, the book is free. Call 800-686-2237.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Class, Dr. Shealy's with us, drnormshealy.com. normshealy.com. You can get to his website. Dr. Shealy's a medical doctor, and we're talking about what's happening, the quickening. Things are happening faster and faster and faster. And we're talking with Laura in California, and we talked about the EBT cards, and we talked about the lines when the EBT cards didn't work. We talked about the water. We talked about the electric bills, and we talked about the invasion that the utility companies want to have happen to survey your home and check out your home. And I caution you all to be very careful, and I would not let them in. I absolutely would not. Well, Laura, you were talking about the chemtrails, and I know Dr. Shealy is very concerned about that. Dr. Shealy, can you share with us your thoughts about chemtrails? Because there supposedly is a meeting in California about that.
I'm sorry, I missed my thoughts about.
Can you share with
Can I say something real quick?
Yes, sure.
Over the break, I looked it up, and what it is in Redding, California, they are going to be having a meeting with scientists. It's going to be on August 14th. It's free admission. It's in Redding. You can get the information on it by going to geoengineeringwatch.org. The MC will be John B. Wells. Beautiful voice that man has. And it's going to have a bunch of prominent people, it says. They're going to have neurologists there. They're going to have people from the Fish and Game biologists. They're going to have a U.S. Forest Service biologist, the Department of Agriculture, and these are, let me preface by saying, all of these people are former U.S. Forest Service, former U.S. Department of Agriculture. They're going to have some a former defense industry technician, U.S. Navy veteran, and anti-geoengineering activist. So it looks like it's going to be a full house. It's going to go for 2 hours, and I urge anybody who's in Northern California or that can get there to go and, you know, maybe call back into the radio station and tell us what happened, because this should be very enlightening. They're talking about how, you know, I know that several of my friends don't even see them. So
really? Okay, you're talking about the chemtrails.
The chemtrails.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, I will call. I'll tell you what, Laura, I will call Dane Wigington today.
Yes,
and ask him if he's
exactly.
Okay, yeah, I'll ask him if he could come on the air with us and tell us what's going on before and after. How about that?
Oh,
I will do that. He calls every once in a while just to see if I still have a pulse. He's a great guy. Hey, Laura, I've got Bob from Michigan waiting. Thanks so much for being with us.
And Dr. Shealy, thank you for everything you do.
Well, thank you. Great to talk to you.
I had my Kyani Nitro this morning before I came on the air. So thank you so much. You're amazing, and your classes were absolutely enlightening. So I appreciate everything you do for everybody, and I'll keep listening to you.
Thank you. We're all working together.
All right. Have a good day. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Let's see. We've got Bob in Michigan. You've got a question for Dr. Shealy. Welcome.
Well, actually, I had for your guest, but she just left. Hey, I was going to say, here, she's wondering where the chemtrail planes went. Hey, they've been busy here in Michigan.
Yeah.
We just got plastered really, really good.
You know, within a day or so of those chemtrails, the weather is really a problem. You know, they stopped spraying for a day or so, and we have this blistering heat, absolutely. And we're trying to put solar panels on the roof of our barn, and we can't get up there. It's too hot.
Wow.
It's just too hot. Hey, Bob, can you hold on
sure.
through the break?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. And because you've got a question for Norm Shealy, and we've got a whole bunch of medical questions for Norm Shealy, including what do you do if you're preparing for surgery? Because we know a gal who's going to surgery in about a week. What does she do to get ready? Dr. Norman Shealy is with us, normshealy.com. I'm Vin Finelli. Bob in Michigan's on the line. We'll be right back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
We've been patiently waiting while you tried to ignore us, waiting while you acted like we didn't exist, waiting for our chance to be taken seriously. The wait is over. GCN is available 24/7 at GCNlive.com. Navigate through news from your favorite hosts and download archives of past shows. Download the app on your smartphone or tablet or visit GCNlive.com for instant access and live streaming. GCNlive.com, the future of talk radio, now at your fingertips.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit, then carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Hi, Ted Anderson. I'm placing a silver dollar in a book explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
We call it the crapper, water closet, outhouse, or bathroom. But where do you go when there's nowhere to go? The answer is the Biffy Bag. The Biffy Bag is a pocket-sized disposable toilet that fits in your glove box, tackle box, toolbox, backpack, or purse. The Biffy Bag has everything you need for a sanitary and comfortable relief experience. It's ready to use in just seconds, and just toss it in the trash when you're done. It's your Biffy in a jiffy. BiffyBag.com. BiffyBag.com.
Would you like to use your IRA funds to buy precious metals and hold them at home? Are you wary of the stock market, paper gold, or faraway depositories? With a checkbook IRA, you may legally take custody of IRA-owned gold and silver. Visit checkbookira.com and learn how IRA owners in all 50 states have already taken control. Checkbookira.com. Checkbookira.com.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked. Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com with Dr. Norman Shealy. Bob in Michigan, you had a question for Dr. Shealy.
Well,
make up one, Bob.
Actually, I had one for your guest, but she's gone.
Okay. Well, by the way, what was the question for our guest?
Well, I was going to ask her, is she married or single?
I'll tell you.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
All right. I'll tell you. I met her, and she is stunning, absolutely stunning, and her daughters are absolutely stunning. So, in case you're wondering,
well,
now you know.
Listening, she can move to Michigan. Here, we got plenty of water here.
Yep. I'm sure she's welcome wherever she would like to land. Seriously, she's really a lot of fun. She's very nice. She's very, very pleasant. And,
yeah.
Go ahead,
anyhow,
go ahead,
you know, my business is still keeping me really busy. You're always talking about lack of jobs and
Yeah.
work.
So, all right. So, what do you do?
Well, I'm the guy that make those grills, the L100s.
Yeah. So let me tell the class what we're talking about. Bob makes grills, replacement grills for a product that is no longer in production. It's the James B. Lansing L100 series of speakers. We have a set here at the farm, and I've had them since the 1970s. They were considered really, really great speakers. And they had this grill that was made out of foam, and it was painted either orange, blue, brown. I don't know if there are any other colors, but bright orange, bright blue, and brown in a walnut cabinet. They're pretty heavy, 10-inch drivers, and they're absolutely spectacular speakers. And the grills would crumble. The foam would just crumble. So you make the replacements for them, correct?
Yeah, well, and for lots of other speakers too.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of different companies that had those, and all the original grills have fallen apart. So I do replace for all of them.
So you have a niche market. So anybody who has a pair of these speakers, and they were about $333 a piece back in the 1970s. So they were pretty high end speakers. I remember I saved for a long time to buy my JBL L100s and still have them. So all right, Bob, email me with a link to your website, and what I'll do is I'll put it on our website in case any of our class would like to get in contact with you. But you have a question?
I need more work, though. I can't keep up with what I got now. But I am planning, I just had a meeting yesterday. I think I'm going to expand the business, move to a bigger location. So there might be some more jobs available here in Michigan. That's
there you go. That'd be wonderful.
Been my goal.
Hey, good on you.
There's ways to make money out there. You just gotta find a niche or some little trick to do it.
Mm-hmm. So, Bob, what's your question for Dr. Shealy?
I've got a friend who's just gone through cancer, and she had radiation treatment, and now she was in the hospital recently for a couple of days for some internal bleeding. And I've talked to her about going the natural way for so many years, but now she's pretty much going the pharmaceutical and doctor way. I mean, she's got a whole regimen of pills to take every day. And I don't think that's obviously, as far as I'm concerned, not the way for her to go, but that's her choice.
Well, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force him to drink, and I'm with you. There is no circumstance under which you could poison me with any anti-cancer drug.
Yeah.
I'd bite your hand off if you tried to give it to me.
Yeah.
Dr. Shealy, I hear this over and over. Not exactly what Bob is saying, but very similar. People who have loved ones who have cancer, and I say, well, have you looked into alternatives? Oh, they won't do it. They won't do it. They've talked to their doctor. They're going to have the chemo. They're going to have the radiation. And Dr. Shealy, what is the possibility of surviving cancer using chemo and radiation and surgery?
Well, the published statistics are that statistically they say it extends life 4 months, average.
4 months?
For 6 months or more of torture, that doesn't seem very good. That's my opinion.
But it's the same thing over and over. Dr. Shealy, are you hearing the same thing with people that whom you know? Yeah, but they won't go. They're not interested in looking into it. And this is the.
But Vince, why is the United States in the shape it is? Because a huge majority of people put idiots in Congress and the White House.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at what has happened to this country in the last 30 years, there's been almost nothing good that has happened. And that's because people vote for crud. I'm being
I got a call from one of our students, comes to the meetups a lot, and he said, "Hey, how about having this politician from Springfield, come to the meetup?" And I said, "Are you kidding? I hate politicians." And so, I responded with this visceral reaction, have a politician come to the meetup. Then I thought about it for a day, and I thought, you know what? Okay, tell you what, I might yield on this. I might agree to having this politician come here, because then we could ask him, all right, what are you doing to reduce regulations? What are you doing to lower taxes? And I have a feeling it would be a roast. I mean, I think this guy would be roasted by the entire restaurant. Nobody is going to really say, "Oh, I'm so glad to see you because you've been so helpful." I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm really seriously considering allowing this politician to come to address the group. I mean, it might be a lot of fun. We could do to him what he does to us. Bob, do you have any other questions for Dr. Shealy?
No, I would only have some general comments, which I've got lots of.
All right. Well, hey, thanks so much for your call. Send me an email, please. I'm about 18,000 emails behind, but I will get to it. And let's chat with you on another broadcast about how does someone start a business, and how formidable is it to start a business? Okay.
Right. Sure, we can do that.
Hey, Bob, thanks so much for your call.
Okay.
Dr. Shealy, we have a friend who is she sees the public a lot, and I happened to see her yesterday when I was getting getting tags for a truck, and or license plates for a truck, and there's a sign on the door that says she's going to be off for vacation for a week, and then the next couple of weeks she's going to be closed due to surgery. That's what it said on the door, due to surgery. So I asked her about it. And she's probably close to 70 years old. And so she has had a spot on her kidney, and she said there's going to be a robotic surgery. And I said, okay, do you know what to do to get ready for surgery? Has your doctor talked to you about this? And the answer is no. So, Dr. Shealy, what should she do? I told her I would call her and let her know what your thoughts are on how she should prepare her body for surgery. Now, she's one of those few people who is probably pretty darn close to her high school weight, 50 years later. She's still close to her high school weight. She's pretty lean. She's not real skinny, but she's not fat. She's not lean, so she appears to be healthy, other than this problem that she has with her kidney. What should she do to be in the best health to survive and thrive after surgery?
Well, I would take 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C daily.
Okay.
I would take Sunset daily.
Mm-hmm.
I would take a good B complex, at least 25 milligrams a day.
Mm-hmm.
And astaxanthine 10 milligrams a day. Those are sort of basics for enhancing immune function.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's about it.
Okay, what should she avoid?
Well, aspirin is the big one. I don't think there's much else, probably. Well, no, I think just aspirin, because it does increase bleeding slightly.
Okay. So I was in the kitchen this morning with Mrs. Finelli, and she looked at me and she said, how do they know? How did her doctor find this? And what she was referring to is when she goes in for a checkup, or if I go in for a checkup, which has been a couple of years, doctor will say, how you doing? Fine. Okay. Blood pressure's okay? You doing okay? Yeah, I'm doing fine. Okay. See you next year. I mean, so how would, if that is a medical exam today,
I don't think you could do it from a history or medical exam, quote, a spot on the kidney, whatever that means, obviously they had to have done some kind of lab test that showed some abnormality, and then must have gone looking for something wrong with the kidney.
Right. And my question is, with the kind of checkups that I have, I don't see how it's possible that a doctor could even
no way
figure out what might be wrong. I mean, it's kind of like going to a car wash or something. I mean, I just go there and a few minutes later it's done, and there are no lab tests. No one looks under the hood. I don't understand. So when we come back, could you share with us what we should expect? By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
In the U.S. alone, a home invasion occurs every 13 seconds. On top of that, the average response time for 911 is over 15 minutes. That just won't cut it. Don't allow yourself or the important people in your life to be victims. When seconds matter, don't be caught stumbling for your firearm. Get the protection you deserve. Get yourself a hidden holster from hiddenholster.com. It's the original hidden holster. The hidden holster is quick, easy, and convenient. It's versatile enough for the home, workplace, or virtually anywhere else you might need it. Have peace of mind with your firearm close by at all times. Go to hiddenholster.com. That's hiddenholster.com. If you own a firearm, you need a hidden holster. Your protection matters, and self-defense is the best defense. Go to hiddenholster.com. That's hiddenholster.com. The original hidden holster.
Did you know that drinking pure, high alkaline water is one of the most important factors in maintaining high energy and vibrant health? Most experts agree that the water you drink should be at a pH level of 8 or higher. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops, available only at alkavision.com, combine a unique formula of only the most alkaline minerals. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops alkalize your water, ridding the body of harmful toxins, and helps you regain health and energy. Alkalizing your water by simply adding 10 drops of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops helps the body rid itself of acidic waste, increases oxygen content, and raises the pH of your body to healthy levels. And bacteria and viruses cannot survive in an alkaline high pH environment. Order your bottle of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops for only $29.95 at alkavision.com. That's ALKAvision.com. Or call 269-409-1776. 269-409-1776. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com today.
All right, so suddenly Walmart, eBay, Amazon, everybody wants to ban the rebel flag. Well, the rebel flag is an important part of American history. The rebel flag is still a long-standing symbol of Southern pride and Southern heritage. So if the big retailers want to play into political correctness and try to deny the history of America, let them. Go to ourflags.com. That's R like rebel, R, the letter R, ourflags.com. Get your rebel flag before they actually do outlaw the things, huh? Ourflags.com. That's ourflags.com. Go now.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the most affordable body armor, period. With packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. KD offers soft armor and rifle threat rated armor up to level 4. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free tactical scarf for a limited time with any body armor package. That's CATIarmor.com. Come and take it.
Dr. Norman Shealy is with us, and we talked about preparing for surgery, and I mentioned that when I go for a checkup, I think the only reason I'm going is to make sure that the doctor still has office hours. I think that's what I'm checking up on. I don't think it's really has a lot to do with my health anymore, Dr. Shealy. And so when we go to an annual checkup, if we have one of those, what should we expect our doctor to do?
What I would call a very simple general physical exam and a standard blood count. That's the hemoglobin, white blood count, all that stuff. And then something called a chem panel. That's the standard for most people. Now, for men, it may involve a prostate exam as well, including a PSA. And that's it. And the evidence is overwhelming that if you have no symptoms, the annual checkup is probably a total waste of time and money.
Okay, and I think that's really what it is. I think he asked me, how you feeling and how you doing and what's new, and I guess he feels that by my outward appearance that I don't seem to have any problems, and he just thanks me and says, okay, we'll see you next year, that kind of thing. But I really don't, as you said, I really don't see a lot of benefit. And the only time I've gotten blood tests, I'll bet you that was 5 years ago that he suggested it. And he looked at my my PSA and he said, yours is better than mine. And it really bothered him. He's younger than I am by, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 years. Okay. All right, so we want a hemoglobin test and a blood panel, right?
Right, and a basic chem panel. It gives you an overview of minerals and liver function and kidney function. That's basically what it does.
Dr. Shealy, there's something that's on the internet that really, really bothers me, and it's bothering a lot of people. There was a dentist from Minnesota. Have you read the story about how he went to Africa and he killed a lion?
Yes.
Okay. So this dentist paid $55,000 to go and execute a lion, an absolutely magnificent lion. I mean, there are pictures on the internet. We have it posted on our website, usaprepares.com. So this, according to the article in Daily Mail, and it's on Drudge Report, it's everywhere, Dr. Walter Palmer, and he shot dead in Zimbabwe a lion by the name of Cecil. This is a magnificent lion. Now, he didn't go there to harvest an animal for food. They skinned this animal and cut its head off. This is a trophy.
To frame, essentially.
Yes. Now, I know of another doctor who will remain nameless in Springfield, Missouri. I was at a meeting of these hunters, and this group of hunters would go on these safaris, and the plan was to execute animals. I mean, the sole purpose of going on these, we'll call them hunts, Hunts, was to go to another country and kill an animal that would be a trophy. That was the whole plan. And the cost would be between, $35,000 and more to go. Now,
I'm not laughing at it because I think it's truly funny. I just think it's such a waste of money. Among other things. That's being kind.
And life. And I can tell you, Dr. Shealy, that we had, just to tell you how I feel about this, and I'd love to hear your opinions. We had a 10-point deer on our farm a couple of years ago, and these hunters would come by and they'd go very slowly down our road, and they would look only on our side to find this, because somebody must have said, hey, there's a 10-point buck on the Finelli's farm. And all these hunters were absolutely falling all over themselves trying to, get the shot. Well, I saw them shoot this deer. I was waiting for him, and it was just turning dark. And this guy stopped in the middle of the road, pulled out his rifle, shot that deer, and there was a truck chase. I mean, there was literally, I went to arrest him, and he took off, and I chased him, and he outran me. We'll be right back.
The human body is more than 60% water. Your brain and muscles are 75% water. And your blood is 92% water. Water's vital to your body, and alkalizing your water is the key to keep it running at its best. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops keep your entire body healthy, boosts energy, promotes weight loss, and even fights cancer. Call 800-518-7615 or go to alkavision.com to find out more. That's ALKAvision.com.
Healthy, organic, fresh fish, robust, mouth-watering vegetables, all from your home. It's called aquaponics. This brilliant, self-sustaining protein and veggie system is perfect for year-round growing. Know exactly where your food is coming from. Aquaponicssource.com is the one-stop shop for all your needs. Fish, fish food, plumbing, full systems, classes, and more. Learn to build your own system. Go to aquaponicssource.com for a free guide to aquaponics. That's aquaponicssource.com.
Okay, honey, I have to ask, and be honest here. Have you been taking a little blue pill? Because things have been pretty good in the bedroom lately.
No, I swear.
You didn't pick anything up at the Pharmacia last month in Cancun?
No.
Well, something's different.
I have been taking that heart and body extract you bought me.
But that's for your heart and to control your cholesterol.
Well, I read HB extract also promotes healthy prostate function.
I never guessed it would work this well, but
you're glad it did.
Oh, yeah.
Heart and Body Extract is a 100% organic formula that promotes a strong heart, healthy arterial flow, better circulation, improves erectile and prostate gland function, and provides youthful energy, strength, and stamina. Find out more at heartandbodyextract.com. Heart and Body Extract paired with healthy heart choices is a winning combination. Call toll-free to order or for free information. 1-866-295-5305. 1-866-295-5305.
In the U.S. alone, a home invasion occurs every 13 seconds. On top of that, the average response time for 911 is over 15 minutes. That just won't cut it. Don't allow yourself or the important people in your life to be victims. When seconds matter, don't be caught stumbling for your firearm. Get the protection you deserve. Get yourself a hidden holster from hiddenholster.com. It's the original hidden holster. The hidden holster is quick, easy, and convenient. It's versatile enough for the home, workplace, or virtually anywhere else you might need it. Have peace of mind with your firearm close by at all times. Go to hiddenholster.com. That's hiddenholster.com. If you own a firearm, you need a hidden holster. Your protection matters, and self-defense is the best defense. Go to hiddenholster.com. That's hiddenholster.com. The original hidden holster.
Everyone says or does something silly once in a while. Even very smart, very accomplished people. It's part of being human. A quote taken out of context, a legal problem, an unfortunate photograph. Once that embarrassing thing is on the internet, it can spread like a terrible rash because people love to dig up dirt, even when it's not real dirt. Put it to rest. Call for a free expert analysis today from Reputation.com. It only takes 30 seconds. 800-831-0771. Businesses, public figures, and professionals turn to Reputation.com for good reason. We protect your online image by helping make sure that when people search for you or your business, they find the most current, accurate information possible. Reputation.com, because word travels fast. Learn more about what the experts at Reputation.com can do for you. Call for a free analysis today. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771.
Gold. It's like nothing else on Earth. From the Romans through the Renaissance, from the Industrial Age to the Space Age, gold has weathered the test of time. For 6,000 years, gold has remained the ultimate store of wealth. According to the World Gold Council and the U.S. Mint, demand is at an all-time high. The stage is being set for the reemergence of gold as the common-sense alternative to a fiat paper currency that gets weaker every day. Midas Resources is proud to offer the hard-hitting report that arms you with the truth you need to protect you and your family from the Fed's plans for your hard-earned money. Don't gamble with your future. Call Midas Resources today and ask for your free copy of As Good as Gold. Call 1-800-686-2237 for the report the Fed hopes you'll never see. As Good as Gold can be yours by calling 800-686-2237. If you have ever thought about owning gold, you must read this report. Call Midas today at 800-686-2237.
Class, Dr. Shealy is with us, normshealy.com, NORMSHEALY.com. And if you'd like to learn about optimal health, you can go to the website, normshealy.com. And if you'd like to get your bliss oils, you can do that as well at normshealy.com. Dr. Shealy, these hunters were going down the dirt road in front of our house looking for this 10-point deer, and they were determined to kill it. And one of them actually shot the deer and did kill it. I didn't find that out until after I went to arrest him. And I went up to his car and or struck right after he shot the deer. I mean, seconds later. And I said, "You're under arrest." And he took off, hit the gas, and I jumped in my truck, and there, a chase pursued. Here's the whole point. There are people who are intent on doing this, and I know this doctor in Springfield, Missouri, and he would spend $35,000 plus to go on these hunts to kill these rare, large animals. And this lion that was killed by Dr. Walter Palmer just a few days ago. This is just another example of this. And here's my question: are these people sick? Is this a sickness, a bona fide sickness that people have when they just want to execute animals for sport?
I'm not a psychiatrist, thank heaven, but so I don't know whether it could be called a sickness. What I really think it is a lack of common spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
And whether that's a sickness, if that's a sickness, then there are all kinds of other things that will also be defined as sick. But the idea of killing an animal other than for necessity, practically for food, is foreign to me.
Absolutely foreign to me. And when one of our cows is sick, it tears me up. I just if I'm driving on the road back from a meetup and it had just rained and these frogs are on this 50-mile drive, in the lonely country roads, and these frogs are in the road, I do my best to avoid running them over. I mean, I don't aim for these frogs just sitting in the road to just squash them. I think that life is precious, and we should not take life needlessly and recklessly and carelessly, and it just literally tears me up. And I hope that this dentist actually pays the society's price, Dr. Walter Palmer. I hope he pays the price, because this isn't the first time he's done this. He's done this quite often, according to this article. And these are magnificent animals that he's taken the life of. George in New Hampshire, you're on with Dr. Norman Shealy. Welcome.
Hi, Vinny, and hello, Dr. Shealy. I'd just like to bring one thing up in the program, and that is that in Africa, there's certain sections of Africa where the lions have turned to eating people, and they showed one picture of a father dressing his son. His son was looked to be like maybe 30 years old, and the poor man didn't have any arms, and you only wonder when his elderly parents pass on what's going to happen to him. But they said that these lions will come into the village, and the villagers really don't have any basic weapons, and they're not one of the more warlike tribes in there. And they said that they'll drag a child or a person out right from a bonfire. And they said 20 villagers will go after the lion, and it's a 50-50 shot whether or not they can rescue the villager. And I mean, if they would want to hunt, they would be doing a great service to those people, because they say those carnivores turn to human flesh. Let's just say they become. Let's just say they're really doing a job on the people. Now, I could see if that dentist had any manhood, if he and his friends would go in there as a human, as a service to humanity. That I think. What do you think?
I still have a problem with it, and I can tell you why. I have, on this property, on our farm, we have a mountain lion. And, you know what we did? We're armed. We're armed on the property. We could have shot him, but we didn't. We took a picture of it. And that's it. And is that mountain lion going to kill, other animals? Yeah, that's what they do. But is it now, if that mountain lion were attacking one of our cows, yes, I would shoot the mountain lion. I would. But if the mountain lion is not bothering our cows, then I'm not going to, or our dogs, then I'm going to leave him alone, because I feel he has as much right to be here on our farm as we do. I mean, as a matter of fact, they were here way before we were here. We just invaded Missouri in the 1840s. They were here a lot longer. So, if there were a mountain lion or a tiger or a cougar or some other animal that was ready to pounce and harm someone, I would draw and fire, absolutely, to protect that person. But I can't see just hunting them down. How do you know you've got the right one? I mean, how do you know?
Would you wait until they make an incursion on the village and just have it staked out that basically you could eradicate those individuals that have turned to basically devouring people? And I mean, we actually have more right to be here on this earth as we're stewards, and you're a good steward of your land that God apportioned to you. I can respect that. I'm sure Dr. Shealy is as well, and I try to be too. But there's a line, is what I'm saying. And there are people out there, and you know the trend seems to be the animals would have more rights than us, and they just behaving naturally. But by the same token, the respect for human life, I admit, unfortunately, some people have more respect for animal life than they do for human life.
I have respect for both. Dr. Shealy, what are your thoughts?
Well, it is a fine line, obviously. If I lived in Africa, I would feel very different about lions. And obviously, people have to protect themselves. I do value human life over animal life in general. And I don't know the answer. I do know that going out to kill an animal just to kill an animal, I consider unethical and it's just not compatible with spiritual law.
Dr. Shealy, medical doctors take an oath, an Hippocratic oath, don't they? Don't they still take that oath? First, do no harm?
Some schools do. Most of them don't.
Ah, okay. Because if we took an oath to first do no harm, how is that in concert with going out with a rifle or a bow and arrow to execute animals? That's doing harm.
Yeah, I agree.
George, I don't know if we've answered your question. I have a tough time killing animals. I really, really do.
I do too.
However, what about some predator that might step on our farm and try to harm us? I wouldn't want to do that either. However, I would if I had to.
Right, but you wouldn't take pleasure in it, and you wouldn't feel like an egotistical rush. It would just be something you had to do. And
if you look at the pictures on the internet of Dr. Walter Palmer, you'll see he took great pleasure, or it sure appears to be. I mean, this guy is literally grinning from ear to ear. holding up the head of this lion that he just executed. I mean, this lion is bigger than he.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all, Vincent, but I think Dr. Shealy and yourself, and I've tried to be as best I can, respecters of other people's life, try to give them a heads up, try to make them live a better life and see and protect their lives and their families. I'll just say this, is that I remember a friend of mine whose father was old school, and they said whenever a prime specimen of a deer would come by during the hunting season, he'd lower his rifle because he'd say, that's breeding stock. He goes, right. If you want to take out the runts, but you know and I know, this glorified killing, I'll just say it's genetics. Just as your genetics are, you couldn't let somebody die unless there was a very, very serious reason for it. There's other people who, they just don't have any respect for life. And I think spiritually they're dead, or at least they haven't developed certain parts of their senses or sensibilities to the point where they'd have a respect for life and God's creation. And that's all I wanted to say.
I really appreciate that. And this lion that was executed looks like breeding stock. I mean, absolutely
I don't doubt it.
Magnificent.
Thanks,
George,
Dr. Shealy. Thanks, Vincent. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Vince?
Yes.
There are many threats in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Which one do you think is most imminent?
Well, I believe that Fukushima is one of the most serious threats. And I believe that people who are at the switch are a serious threat. People who make decisions about the grid, about chemical releases, about geoengineering. Dr. Shealy, I think it's 360 degrees. The food is toxic. The medicines that are being prescribed are toxic. The air is toxic. The electromagnetic radiation that surrounds us is toxic. People who are making decisions can kill us. I'm talking about people who are in insurance companies, who are at the computers making keyboard and mouse click decisions over whether a life-saving treatment will be approved or declined. These are all threats. The economy, the fact that people have lost their jobs.
I'm not laughing at how bad it is. The list is impressive.
And then,
I guess my biggest question is, do you think the economy will crash before the chemical or nuclear contamination gets
I'll tell you what, how about if I address that when we come back, and we have Michael on hold and from New York and Mark in Philadelphia waiting, and I've got a couple quick questions as well. Let me address that when we come back. Dr. Norman Shealy is with us, normshealy.com. I'm Vin Finelli. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Affordable health insurance was the promise of Obamacare, but for many, the government mandate caused more problems than it solved. And I want to tell you about a truly affordable alternative, Liberty HealthShare. Liberty HealthShare bypasses doctor and hospital panels, giving you the freedom to choose 100% coverage up to $1 million per year per occurrence, who includes dental, vision, pharmacy, and holistic care. Call 1-800-714-6993, 1-800-714-6993, 1-800-714-6993 today.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit, then carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Ted Anderson, I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
Usually, the older one gets, the less you are able to absorb amino acids and the less you are able to repair the 100 trillion cells of your body. As a result, you'll have less energy, your tissues will shrink, and you'll become wrinkled. An older person will typically injure more easily and heal more slowly. Not fun. However, if you could consume a protein powder that is easier to absorb, then you may be able to gain back some strength, muscle, and speed of recovery. One World Whey is a highly digestible whey protein powder that may be the perfect answer for you.
My name is Errol. I'm 74 years old. You know, the taste of One World Whey is amazing. I play pickleball, and since taking One World Whey and your trace mineral supplement, I have more energy and recover faster from my working out. I used to take another grass-fed whey protein powder, but now I'm getting much better results using One World Whey.
Call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldwhey.com.
Thousands of people seeking home security get ripped off every day, and the home security industry wants you to believe that's your only option. They've got hordes of salesmen out there trying to scare you into signing one of their long-term contracts. You get stuck writing huge checks month after month with no way out. It's robbery by contract, and it can cost you thousands. But there's a better way to protect your home. Simply Safe Home Security. Simply Safe has no contracts. None. You'll get award-winning 24/7 protection. Security professionals watching over your home, ready to instantly send police to the rescue for just $14.99 per month. That's less than half what most companies charge. Protect your home the smart way. Visit simplysafedefense.com today for an exclusive 10% offer and get a free keychain remote worth $25. Only when you go to simplysafedefense.com. simplysafedefense.com.
Dr. Shealy asked me a question about threats and what am I guess, most concerned about. Well, there are fast kills and there are slower kills. The slow kill, of course, I'm concerned about geoengineering, the spraying of chemicals that are entering our bloodstream and making us tired and worn out and so forth. The Fukushima man-made disaster, I said, is the worst man-made disaster since Noah's flood. And I have in my hands a Bendix Civil Defense Survey meter called a CD-138. At least that's what the label indicates. And I keep this in the studio. It just sits here in the studio, and I've been watching it for a couple of years. And what I've seen, it's now maxed out. It has said, the scale on this says 200 millirentgens of radiation have come into the studio, right here inside the farmhouse, inside the studio. And the building is a stone building. So I'm very concerned about the radiation. I'm concerned about electromagnetic radiation. I'm concerned about the power grid failing. And if we had a power failure in the heat that we have right now, people would die. And if the power grid were down for, let's say, a month, on average, I would say that the insulin supply that most people have is half of half supply, which would be half of 1 month or 14 or 15 days, a couple weeks worth of insulin on average is what people have on hand, and they would begin to die, right, Dr. Shealy?
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely.
Okay. Those are my concerns. And I have a couple quick questions, and we have two callers. One is Triani, Kyani Tripack. Would you say that for most of us who want to stay healthy, that we should consider using, sunrise, sunset, and Nitro Extreme? And the reason I'm asking is Joey from Michigan had asked me that question. I said, I take it every day, and I believe Dr. Shealy does too.
Well, my number one statement remains, and that is, if you are healthy, you do need certain supplements. And I think for a healthy person, all you need is sunrise, sunset, and Nitro Extreme. The sunrise is a good multivitamin mineral. The Nitro Extreme, of course, has energy effects in every cell in your body. And the sunset takes care of the essential fatty acids and tocotrienols of the best form of vitamin E. Obviously, when people have diseases, illnesses, major symptoms, then other things may be needed. So it's at the top of my list for maintenance and for staying healthy for people who are already healthy.
Okay. How about Bliss for testosterone? Which one?
Well, I have not done specific measurements on testosterone, so I can't answer that. I do know that Fire Bliss raises DHEA, dehydroepiandrosterone, which does raise testosterone.
Okay. All right. I will make sure that Joey can hear this. We have, and muscle tears. What causes muscle tears? I mean, from normal movement.
If in a normal person, it means that somehow they've used more power, if you will, than that muscle can stand. And it doesn't happen very often to normal people unless they do something extraordinarily strenuous.
What do we do about it?
Well, I would go see David Finelli right away, because he has a way of using myofascial massage and taping the area back together, and told me many examples of places where he's been able to heal a muscle tear without surgery.
Okay. Michael in New York, you're on with Dr. Norman Shealy. Welcome.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Yeah, my Rapid Heal, gentlemen, that'll take care of it real quick. Regarding the doctors, they don't take Hippocratic oath anymore. They take the hypocritic oath.
I totally agree. I wrote an anonymous novel about that a long time ago.
Well, gentlemen,
Michael,
I wanted to mention on the cats, and, the lions, they're starving. They're all just starving, and people even go cannibal when they're starving. So, there's an answer to it. I just don't have time to explain it, I'll look forward to the next opportunity to do that.
Great. Michael, thanks so much for calling. Mark, I'm sorry we don't have time for your call. Dr. Shealy, thank you so much for being with us today. Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next? By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
We are a survival company. We manufacture our own line of Level 3 and Level 3A body armor. We proudly make our armor 100% in America. We have the best prices in the nation, about $125 cheaper than our nearest competitor. All lab certified, for thou art my rock and my fortress. Psalm 31:3. We are Fortress Survival LLC.com.
Affordable health insurance was the promise of Obamacare, but for many, the government mandate caused more problems than it solved. And I want to tell you about a truly affordable alternative, Liberty HealthShare. Liberty HealthShare bypasses doctor and hospital panels, giving you the freedom to choose. 100% coverage up to $1 million per year per occurrence, who includes dental, vision, pharmacy, and holistic care. Call 1-800-714-6993. 1-800-714-6993. 1-800-714-6993 today.